Load. Good evening. Welcome into another edition of the Cavalier Connection podcast. I'm your host, Jack Lowe, joined as always by my dad, Jeff Lowe, and Jay Ballard. How we doing tonight, guys? Dad, how we doing?
I'm doing good.
Jay?
Yeah, doing great. Well, not really. I'm lying, but I'm doing great as far as Virginia football goes. Not so great in the fantasy football world.
Ooh. Well, I hear you're having a little bit of unluckiness with the old injury situation. Is that true?
Yeah. No need to get too in the weeds, but the CD Lamb injury hurt me bad. As a Commander fan, I'm torn.
I was gonna say, aren't you a Redskin fan?
Yeah.
He's a Cavalier fan first.
He's a Cavs fan. You're right. He's a Cavs fan. You're right. That's absolutely correct.
I'm gonna wear that shirt on the podcast.
You should wear that. I don't know why you haven't worn that shirt yet.
Yeah.
but yeah, at least we also have that to root for. Listen, all three of us are Commander fans. The Washington Commanders took care of business against the Raiders earlier today. Wasn't ever really close. Terry McLaurin went buck wild and also lost somebody that we know some money. Lost some people some fantasy matchups, I hear. But, that's beside the point. It was fun to watch the Commanders earlier. With that being said, though, the reason we're on here tonight, we're going to recap Virginia's matchup last night against the Stanford Cardinal as they won that one 48-20. With that being said, though, we want to remind you this episode is brought to you by A Squared Pizza. Go visit our friends over at A Squared. Why sweat over a grill before kickoff when you can roll into your Friday night tailgate, not Saturday, Friday night tailgate, as we got a big one coming up against Florida State with the best Detroit-style pizza in Charlottesville. A Squared Pizza has you covered. But why wait? Football weekends start, and you can go visit them right now to get your Sunday night football pizza, or give them a call Friday night. Call 434-465-2186. Again, that's 434-465-2186 to order ahead and taste the difference. A Squared. Be sure to go check them out. Great pizza. I'm hearing, my sources are telling me that my dad might be picking up some A Squared Friday nights. That's true.
We're thinking strongly about it. As long as traffic cooperates.
Well, as long as traffic cooperates, that's right. And to be clear, you did make it into the stands before kickoff.
Yeah,
right?
I did. I was there for the coin toss.
At the coin toss. Look at that. That's beautiful. I tell you, you got lucky with traffic. I went early, and I sat in traffic forever. So it was good to see you guys got there. And yeah. With that being said, though, before we get too far into our recap, we got to bring you our Minter's moment of the week. I feel like I say this every week. A lot of strong moments that could have been used, but we decided to go with this particular play from a guy who used to be a Golden Flash at Kent State by the name of Terrell Harris on Virginia's second possession of the game. Let's take a look.
And a play fake by Morris. He'll deep again. This is Harris in stride, and Terrell Harris scores 75 yards.
So there you have it. Terrell Harris, his second of 3 touchdowns, not in the game, but in the quarter. 3 touchdowns in 1 quarter. Had an unbelievable showing in that first quarter. I think this ultimately comes as a result of Stanford was so afraid of the Virginia running game. They've seen what that run game has done against NC State, against William & Mary. They saw what Jamari Taylor can do, what Harrison Whaley can do, what Xavier Brown can do, that they had to be watching for that run. And as a result, the passing game was wide open all night. And there you have Terrell Harris taking 75 yards, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, it's always exciting. You get those one-play monster touchdown plays. It gets the crowd hyped. You feel like they're just huge momentum plays. They're worth more than just a touchdown, it feels like a lot of times. And that play answered Stanford's touchdown. So it was a big play because Stanford had hit a big play and gotten down and scored a touchdown to tie things up. And then we had that play there. Terrell Harris, huge night. Pretty much all his damage was done in the first quarter. I was thinking, my God, we're going to set all kinds of records here tonight if we continue on this pace. And I think some of it, honestly, we took our foot off the gas a little bit. And maybe Stanford made some adjustments, but it felt like anytime we ran the ball, it was a wasted play in comparison to like we were getting just chunk after chunk after chunk with the passing game.
Even in that first possession, Cam Ross had 2 big ones in a row to get us down the field.
Yeah, and I think you tweeted about, we missed the ball on the flea flicker on the first play.
Man. Yeah.
And he was wide open, but he did get hit. I don't want to put too much of that on Chandler. I don't think he had an opportunity to really get it down there.
Oh, it's a tough play. He was under all kinds of pressure.
But he was wide open. It definitely worked.
Terrell was as open as could be.
So yeah, I mean, great win. And I'm sure we'll talk about some other aspects of it, but just a good win to carry. You could tell they didn't overlook Stanford, and that was the main thing, I think.
Yeah, Daddy, any thoughts on the Minchers moment?
No, it was awesome. I mean, that first quarter was explosive. We got there, like I said, right at coin toss, and you just felt like Jay said. I think they took foot off the gas a little bit too, because I think they might could have put 800 yards of offense on the board if they wanted, and set another new record. So lots of fun. As Shift God says, the red zone play calling was creative, and Jay and I and Jack, we were texting during the game a lot for Florida State to have to look at after that. Des Kitchens, give him his flowers again on scoring has not been an issue this season at all.
No, it's exciting, and we saw in that game, we've seen it all season. Virginia liking to use that direct snap in the red zone, and early in the season, against Coastal Carolina, we used it 3 times, and they were all just direct snaps to run. There wasn't anything else involved. And now you saw last night a couple of direct snaps. You got people going in motion. Chandler Morris getting the ball back on a double reverse, whatever you want to call it, and had the opportunity to throw. Nobody was really open. So what does he do? He takes it himself, walks into the end zone. I think that might have been the first or the third touchdown of the game. I don't know. Regardless, what I'm trying to say is you see that direct snap play calling and the creativeness, which is good to see. And I'll tell you, if you told a Virginia fan this time last year what you just said, Dad, about Des Kitchens, I think you would have been booed off the air. So it's quite great to see the transformation we've seen with how good the talent is and what Kitchens has been able to do.
The talent will tell the story. If you got talent, it makes everybody look better.
Yeah.
Bill Jackson, like you said last week, he coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I mean, you're going to win with that.
Yes, you are.
Ball Hawk talks about having erasers, and they get you out of bad calls, basically. And they can, offensively and defensively, you got to have erasers, guys that make up for your bad call as a coach. And the fans, most of the fans, never know it was a bad call because a player makes a play, and it looks like, oh man, that's great coaching. But a lot of times it's just those athletes being athletes. And but got to give Coach Kitchens his due. Offensively, it's looked different. We did have the Calandria sack last night. We got one sack, first sack of the year. And then what I thought was funny was in the presser after the game, Tony Elliott said, well, that one was on Morris. The kid who just threw for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns. And, he's clearly joking. But he would have never, ever said, well, those sacks were on Calandria last year when he was running out of bounds 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
It's 2 different quarterbacks. 2 very different. We continue to be proved week in and week out that these are 2 very different quarterbacks. And we had a lot of hope for Calandria going into last season. I did. I'll be the first to admit. I thought he was going to be amazing. But he wasn't. And what you're seeing out of Chandler Morris, and I put this in my recap article last night. Obviously, the numbers have been outstanding. He's been putting up a lot of passing yards. He's running the ball well. I think the most impressive thing from him so far this year is his ability to make plays under pressure, whether that's getting out of the pocket and running himself, throwing on the run, throwing under pressure, just extending the play, but also not running out of bounds for sacks. He's been so good. You saw so many times And again, the offensive line was great last night. I know the one sack, but I don't really put that on the offensive line.
Well, Chandler
see
kept them out of some sacks too. Let's
and he is, but
moving
that's
around in the pocket.
But that's my point is he's extending the play, and when he is under pressure after a long pocket or whatever, he'll go on the run. He'll draw some defenders to come down to try and bring him down, open something up deep, make a chunk play. He's just been really good under pressure and on the run, and it's so much better than Calandra. It's not even close.
He did some sliding. He's doing some sliding now.
He did some sliding. Yes, he did. That's right. That was the biggest downside for a little while.
That last touchdown pass to Trell, I mean, you could not have literally. It was, I mean, you talk about over the fingertips of the defender, right into Trell's hand on the run. It's almost like you just throw it and you hope. But man,
your eyes closed.
The touch, and I texted this to you guys. I know I tweeted it at least today, but I watch him and I just look at him and I see Baker Mayfield. I just see Baker Mayfield, a college version of Baker Mayfield. Obviously, Baker's #1 pick in the draft. I think, So
yeah,
I'm not saying Chandler's that, but he plays kind of like him. He's got that toughness like Baker. He slings it all over. And one thing, and I did tweet this last night. I love about Chandler is that in the interview on the ACC network after the game, I don't know if you guys saw it, but he looked genuinely pissed off. Like, he wasn't rude, he wasn't short or anything, but if you just looked at him, like, he looks sincerely aggravated. And I like it because he was, I think he was upset about the way they finished a little bit, probably going all the way back to the finish of the first half more than anything. But good is the enemy of great is what Ballhawk always says at on his podcast. And I think he wants to be great, and I think they can be great on offense. And so when they're not, I think he takes it very personally, and I like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't see that interview, so that's interesting. And I think that also goes back on coaching a little bit in a good way, not in a bad way. And Elliott talked about this in the presser. Somebody asked about because they kind of saw him getting fired up on the sideline in the third quarter, and him and Jason Hammond both talked about that middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, and capitalizing on that. Why it matters? Well, it matters because 2 weeks ago in the middle 8, Virginia held a 10-point lead over NC State at halftime and then came out slow and terrible in the second half. And we saw remnants in this Stanford game where it wasn't 10, it was a 14-point lead, but it's the same situation where they can't come out flat in the second half where the exact same thing's going to happen. And I think Elliott was getting after him because they kind of left points on the board at the end of that first half, and he was ticked. I mean, we saw him on the sideline. I don't know how much they showed on TV, but he was livid, and he kind of answered in the press conference like, yeah, it's not like he's trying to get the best out of his guys every single play to finish every single play. And he wasn't happy with the way they finished that half, so he had to get on them. So I like seeing that. I think that does go back on coaching some.
Yep.
So
Jack, I do have a question. Did anyone ask? Again, I didn't see the post-game presser. Did anyone ask about the kicking?
Yeah, no.
No one asked.
Nobody asked about the kicking.
The kicking is a big problem.
It is. Nobody asked about it. It was also a shortened press conference, I'll say. But it's an issue. I mean, even the kick that Bettridge made, it's a line drive that it looks like I kicked it. It had no loft on the ball at all. It's an issue. I don't know where they would go outside of him. They're not holding open tryouts. I don't know if Sparks can kick field goals. I don't know if that new kicker, the one who's taking kickoffs.
There's the Spanish.
Yes, he looks
young
good.
man. I haven't seen him kick off kick in the field on field goals or anything, but you got to give some. I mean, you got to do something else. You can't keep sending these. It's like Washington right now. Even though Gay came back and made 2 field goals,
I know
like, you can't miss a 37-yarder. You
just
like, can't.
What? Yeah, no. He's like 3 for 6 on the year after today. Matt Gay for Washington, which is just terrible. No, it's an issue. They've got to resolve that, especially if you get into a situation like, I don't know, Florida State coming into town and you need to hit a chip shot to send it to halftime, or you need to hit a chip shot for the win, or you need to hit a chip shot to push it to 2 possessions. These need to
Imagine
be
missing
considered
a
chip shots.
25-yard field goal.
And it should be a chip
20
shot. Should never be in question.
It's embarrassing. Jeff, do you remember when we were at the Saints Redskins game and the Saints were undefeated? It was kind of getting late in the year, and we were a crap team, and we had them beat. We were up 7, and I think it was literally a 20-yard field goal. Like, we were down that deep to ice the game. And our crap kicker, whoever it was at that time, missed that little chip shot, and then they went down the field, tied it, and ultimately
Whoever it was at
beat
that
us.
time.
Do
There's
you
so many
remember
different names it could be.
I don't remember it. My memory's
that? It was
terrible.
when we had season tickets.
No, I was sure.
But
yeah.
but that's, I could see something like that happening if we miss a 25-yard field goal or less, or 30. 35 even. I mean,
How you lose the
you see
football
kids
game.
on college game day in the morning make the 33-yard field goal or whatever, 30-yard or whatever, McAfee puts them at to kick it. You see them make it sometimes. Like, you, as a college kicker, there is no excuse to ever miss from that distance, ever.
Well, he has, and not only does he just have one, he really only has one job. He's just kicking field goals and extra points. He's not even kicking off. Not that should be a big difference, but
no, it's an issue because that can lose you football games. In a close game, you need 25 yards needs to be a gimme. It needs to be a chip shot. There's no reason that it should be in question. When Will Bettridge goes, and I love Will Bettridge, he's a great guy, but when he goes to kick, I don't feel like anything is a chip shot anymore. Nothing's guaranteed. And you saw it last night, the one he missed, and even, like I said, the one he made. It didn't look like it was good from our angle. I mean, there's a line drive, wobbly kick. It didn't look good. So that's going to need to be addressed for sure. My other thing, this defense is not up to standard. And I hate to say it. The defensive line got better again. I was happy out of what I saw. They got to the quarterback a little bit. Danny Rickert got back there. Milton got back there a little bit. Hammond got back there. The pass rush was not terrible. The run defense was very good. I was happy with that. But the passing game, if we don't get to the quarterback, our secondary is getting toasted a lot. I think it was Ethan Mincer, that first Stanford touchdown that just completely beat. It almost looked like a cover 6 kind of zone that Mincer just completely missed off on. And then there was another one. I think it was Caleb Hardy. Yeah, it was Caleb Hardy who got destroyed for a touchdown in the third quarter, I think it was. Now, he made up for – it's not making up for it, but he forced the incompletion to not let them get a 2-point conversion to make it a 2-possession game or whatever it was. But still, you can't give that up. And that's a big issue. The Florida State game, I think the over-under last I checked was 59.5. There's going to be a lot of points scored. Now, I don't know about FSU's defense quite yet. I got to do more research. But what I do know is Virginia's offense looks as good as anybody in the country. And FSU's offense looks the best out of the entire country. And Virginia's defense is struggling. Okay, maybe not struggling, but not having perfectly its way against Stanford.
yeah,
you got. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was gonna say, it was just a big plays. That was the most sacks on Saturday. I don't know when the last time what did we end up with? 5 sacks?
5 sacks,
something like that. A lot of them were in the second half,
which was really good. And we should have had them for probably about 7 or 8. Like, we got our hands on them for a couple more, and then he slid out of it. But I don't know. I think we just got to bring the heat to Florida State. We got to bring an extra man, because if they're going to run wide open anyway, we might as well have that person coming at the quarterback instead of just out in space out there.
And he can run, which we'll get into our preview later this week. But Castellanos can run. We've had him in Scott Stadium before, and he's going to be an issue for this defense. We're going to have to try and figure that out. But
he's a short guy. I think the strategy is going to be to try to keep him in the pocket. Don't let him out. Even if you don't get to him, like, make him stay in that pocket and then just kind of squeeze it in on him, and hope that you can get to him a little bit.
Very similar to CJ Bailey.
Hands up, hands up.
Get hands up, bat some balls down. We got 6'8", 6'7" on the perimeter. Let's bat some balls down. But I agree with Jeff. And, if if you're not going to cover well on the back end, you got to do something on the front end to make that ball come out quicker. They can't throw a 40-yard pass in the air if you're hitting him in 3 seconds or less. I mean, you got to get there, and you got to get there probably in about 2 seconds.
The defense is going to be so important against Florida State, and like I said, we'll get into all that later this week more in depth as well. But I was happy. It wasn't a bad showing at all against Stanford. Virginia did what they were supposed to do. The defense was pretty good. Like I said, the run defense was as good as it gets. You just got to find a way to limit those big plays. They're very vulnerable to the big play, the deep ball. And then also, I've got to mention, we saw remnants of it last night, the tackling. The tackling is just, we're missing tackles, whether it's bad angles, we're getting broken off of. You've got to clean that up, because against Florida State, Castellanos might throw a receiver screen to their top receiver, and he'll slip off one tackle, and he'll be gone. We can't miss tackles. Against Stanford, we're able to catch some of their guys. FSU is going to be so much better offensively. So that's another thing we got to clean up.
So Shift guy was asking, what's the deal with Clary? I thought he was supposed to be back too.
Yeah, I think
he played. I thought.
Did he play?
I think he got in a couple snaps at most.
He got in
and
a little
played
bit.
fully. I think
he definitely played.
Elliott wanted to get him in the routine of game day, get him warmed up completely, stretching completely, and then play a couple snaps to get his feet wet. No reason to play him too much, I think, and have him. I'm 100% expecting him to be a full go against Florida State. Cam Robinson got in though. Cam Robinson played the entire game, and he got a QB pressure on that third down, the first third down of the game, which was really good out of him. And he had a couple nice plays. I think he recovered. Yeah, he recovered the fumble. Yep. He didn't strip it. This is a whole controversy after the game. Him and Jason Hammond were arguing with each other on who stripped it. And Hammond's like, you got the recovery. Let me get the strip. So I think Hammond did strip it. But Robinson recovered. He recovered the fumble. He made
losing Jack.
Yeah.
Jack, we can't hear you. But it was pretty cool to see Cam Robinson back out there. Hopefully he can stay healthy and he can make a difference. And he did recover that fumble. I couldn't tell you who stripped it. I just knew he got
I think
it.
It was Hammond.
Because as we're sitting up, I'm on the other corner where that play was going. So I think to the Florida State game, if we can, hopefully we can make them punt a couple times to have a shot.
Jack, you said something and a couple minutes ago, you said we did what we were supposed to do against Stanford. And so I do want to say, like, using Vegas standards, the last 2 weeks have been very impressive because we've done far more than what we were supposed to do. If you look at what Virginia, like, we look at Virginia differently. We're not the casual fans, know. The casual fan, like, we have far exceeded the expectations, I think, of what Virginia football should have done against William & Mary. Even William & Mary, we were only a 27.5-point favorite. We would go out and we beat them by 39 or something?
Yeah. I thought it was free money.
Yeah.
Even this past one, I thought was free money.
Well, and then, this game it closed at 16.5. And anybody that you listen to on pretty much any channel was saying that was too many points. Virginia should win, maybe even comfortably, but Stanford would definitely cover that number. Not only did we cover the number, I mean, we comfortably covered that number.
It wasn't close.
It wasn't close. The game wasn't competitive. And so I think we got to make sure, while we're upset with some of the defense, lapses and things like that, we got to make sure we put this in perspective, that this team is playing above what the national expectations were. Now, we may have had different expectations. I know I had high expectations, super high expectations, and I still do. Florida State's a top 10 team. When they come in, it's going to be difficult. Like, we could play a really good game and still lose. So we got to keep perspective is going to be key. I hope that we can pull this one off. how good is Alabama? Florida State beat them in week 1. After that, they haven't been challenged. They haven't really played anybody. This will be
They're
their
dropping
first
70 points on FCS schools.
right. This will be their first road game. That matters.
True road game, yeah.
Put a good a good crowd out there. We might get some magic on Friday night. You don't know.
Yeah, I like what you're saying a lot, putting it in perspective, and I think that's dangerous. Because not that point, but it's dangerous for Virginia fans to get so hyped up because there is a great chance, and I hope I'm wrong. There's a great chance that Virginia comes out of the next 2 weeks 4-4 or 5-3, which I'd be happy with 5 and or sorry.
Out of the next 2 weeks, we're 3-1.
You 3-3, not 4-4, or
we have a chance we could be 3-3
or 4-2. There's a chance.
Yeah.
With that being said, I don't want that to deter the fans' perspective or opinion on the season because this is the toughest stretch of the schedule, and it's not close. Once we come out of these 2 games, you got Duke, which Duke looks pretty good. They just beat NC State yesterday. That was a really good game. Virginia Tech, which is going to be Virginia Tech. You never know what's going to happen with that. And then, UNC looks like a very beatable team. Cal lost really late last night in a blowout fashion.
Who'd they
Wake
lose to?
Forest. They lost to San Diego State, actually. They got blown out by San Diego State.
Okay.
UNC looks terrible. Wake Forest is Wake Forest.
I'd say Danny Neckel, he puts his future spreads. There's only 2 games we're not favored in on his spreads, and
it's the next 2 games.
The next 2 games.
And honestly, Louisville is a lot less scary to me.
Oh yeah,
they have not put it together.
It was
to this point. They haven't played. I know they beat JMU. Look, JMU's a good program. They're a good team. But JMU had every opportunity to go in and beat Louisville in Louisville. Didn't take advantage of it. But I don't think Louisville has hit on the transfer portal class this year like they have in other years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I absolutely think that that's a winnable game at this point. UNC's a dumpster fire. Yeah. As I said before the year, if I had to put more chips on one side or the other, I'd bet on the dumpster fire side. Mm-hmm. And that looks like the way it's going. They look terrible. Duke's going to be very tough at Duke. That game's going to probably be a shootout.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah, NC State had every opportunity to win that game too. I think we were better than NC State. We just lost a football game. That happens sometimes. But,
yeah.
Who in the conference is really that good? Miami looks to be the best team in the conference right now, and we don't play them. So I'd love to get an opportunity to Miami and Florida State. Everybody thinks that's going to be the matchup in the ACC championship game, but let's not do that just yet. Let's play the games out and see who the basketball teams in Charlotte that day. I would love to have a doubleheader.
Oh, trust me. Absolutely. I'm already making my plans to be in Charlotte that day regardless because of the basketball team, but I would love to extend my stay to the nighttime. So, but you make a great point about Louisville, and I was kind of thinking that coming into the season, the Louisville game was the game I was most afraid of, and I was afraid of the Florida State game. With that being said, though, it's kind of shifted now. I've kind of flipped between now. Florida State looks a lot scarier than Louisville. Louisville, we play them close about every time we play Louisville, I feel like. And that's a very winnable game and a game that UVA should absolutely compete and even potentially win. This Florida State game is going to be huge. Well, obviously it's going to be huge, but I think it's also going to be a big test. If Virginia can put up a good game against Florida State, even with a loss, that kind of tells us where this team is. And if they do put up a good fight, I think that tells us that there's no team on the schedule that they can't beat. And I kind of already think that way. So,
yeah. Yeah, Jack, I don't know how much more we got about the game yesterday, other than you really riled up some people in Blacksburg.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Oh, Jack tweeting out pictures before the game of an hour before kickoff of Lane Stadium, and
yeah, I got reposted by some national accounts, man. I got some good run on that post.
Oh, did you?
I say national accounts. I got reposted by one that has over 100,000 followers. So,
oh wow!
I got a lot of run on that.
Now you're speaking Jay's language.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a numbers guy. Give me those numbers.
One of the Virginia Tech fans was so mad from it. He took a screenshot of my profile
I
picture,
saw it.
posted it,
saw
and
it,
said,
blew
"Whoa."
it up.
I was like, all right.
I hope you're right, Chef God. Yeah.
One more. What?
Just real quick. Yeah, Jack. That the youth in you and the young folks, they go and they make rash decisions sometimes. And I got to tell you,
I don't know if it was a bad decision.
we
I had a
we
lot of entertainment.
when you compare the home field last week or whatever time I ran it on Virginia Tech, I gave Virginia Tech two things above us, and the first one was they do have a better home field advantage than us. Their people show up, and I knew, I was like, oh God. When I saw that, I knew this was trouble because you dipped to their standard. Now they want to come at you, but really all you were doing was posting what the Virginia Tech folks posted the week prior. So just flip.
I knew
don't
what
see
you were
anything.
doing.
Listen,
But that's they don't all know that, or it don't matter. That's how Tech fans are. So I knew you had barked up the wrong tree because I'm like, my God, I looked at your mother and I said, well, it's a long time till game time that this is the picture that's getting posted. And then on top of everything, I knew I thought our crowd was going to be better on Saturday night, and it was worse than I imagined. We had less people there for Stanford Power 4 than William and Mary, and you could say William and Mary had some more people that would travel, but and then at halftime there might have been maybe 1,000 students left in the whole stadium from the hill and that whole corner. It was pathetic. It was pretty dang pathetic. I mean, I don't know what to do. I think Eric Ward's doing everything he can. I don't know what to do to keep the students in there. I know Jay said don't let them go to a basketball game, but they don't care. And even there was enough fans left just to fill that little student section in the basketball arena. It was bad. I mean, gosh, it's pretty dang embarrassing to see what that hill looks like. I said earlier today, and this is why I can't be in those positions. I told Jack earlier today, moving forward, you scan yourself in as a student. When you leave, if you scan yourself out at halftime or before, you can't come back. The only way you can come back, you got to buy the ticket. We might as well have all those student sections or student seats. Give the tickets away. Or saw somebody today said $10 tickets, just $10 tickets. Fill the place up. NIL money that the football program got. How about we use some of that NIL money is funding fans in the stadium. So, okay, we got $20 million in NIL. We're going to spend what we would make in a season for $10 seats. We fill the place up, but you got to somehow documenting this. Virginia fans are getting in there. The opposing team gets a section of the stadium, but I mean, it's pathetic in that place. Just pathetic. That visitor side on that side of the field, which is what the TV gets to show. I mean, it's horrible. And that's the students. How can you not give 3.5 hours? Is there not, 10,000 students at that university, or 5,000 students at that university that like sports enough to give 3.5 hours, and not every week? We're talking 6 times or 7 times in a season. You can't do that.
I got the solution,
hours.
Joe. Here's the solution. You make football attendance a 3-credit hour class.
There you go. For
every home game that you don't attend, you just do the math on however much it comes out to on the 0.6 or 0.7, whatever it is. And then if you leave early, it knows what time you left. And if the whole game is worth like 0.6, 0.7, if you leave at halftime, you get 0.3. And there ain't no makeup tests.
I think why Virginia Tech keeps their students at the games, because their students smart enough to make it into UVA.
I'm gonna guess UVA probably has. They got to have some kind of sports curriculum there. If you are majored in that, you have to attend, and you have to write an article about the game, or you have something. And listen, at ODU, I took the orientation class, and I was required to attend a soccer game. Let's make it a requirement. I'm with you. At least all the sports students, you have to attend a football game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Virginia students, I love you, but it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And
You're-
it's not
better.
football's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Come have a good time. 3.5 hours of some social time. Have a good time for 3.5 hours with your friends in the stadium,
Indulge in some drinks beforehand if that's what you need to do.
and then get out, and then you
If
can
you're
go
legal.
out and do, and then you can go out and do whatever you want to do afterwards. I don't get it.
You're 100% correct. The students have got to stay, and they got to show, and they did show up in the first quarter. It was pretty full for the most part. There's a couple empty spaces, but they've got to stick around. With that being said, though, we've also got to sell tickets on the other side of the stadium
That's
too.
what I'm saying.
Because
Keep the students out and give the tickets away. Use the NIL money. Use that money to cover what our income was. Just the ticket sales in that stadium is not what's making money for the football program. I'll tell you that much. Because if so, we're going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Just give the tickets away. Give them away. I need to go to Sam's Club and see buy one get 4 free.
I can
need to
hear
see the
Eric
thing.
Ward saying now, I give them away, but my wife won't let me.
Yeah. Give the crap away. And if you can't leave though, you can't leave at halftime. If you leave, you need to be sick.
You
Something's gotta
forfeit
be going
your
on.
future
Be a
tickets
doctor
or
soon.
something. I mean,
Forfeit, yeah. I can't understand it.
they're running deals right now, $95 for 2
Yeah.
lower levels for FSU. And while
Yeah.
that's a good deal, if you look, I'm sure if you look across the country with a top 10 team coming in, that's still a lot of money for people in this
Hey,
economy.
listen, and one more thing though, and we ribbed on whatever on Virginia Tech, and this season has gone in the toilet, and the people are showing up. But I will say this: they had tickets online for $3 for this game against
I saw that.
who they play.
Wofford.
Wolford.
The tickets were
Wofford.
$3. Virginia, put your flipping tickets on for $3 then.
Was that on StubHub or on their actual?
I think it was on theirs. I'm pretty sure it was on theirs.
Was it?
I can't
figured it was on StubHub.
It had a red color, so like a maroon color. So I think
I figure it's on StubHub, but I don't know what to do. But I feel like we've done a lot in trying to increase the attendance and giving away. Even there was somebody sitting a section over from me. There was a kid, he was probably 12 years old, who had been there for a game earlier in the year, and it said, I'm gonna make this up because I don't remember the school, but let's just say Blue Ridge, UVA, fan kid student night or UVA student or something. Jay just left.
But continue.
But anyway, so I don't know. We got to get the people in the stadium. So calling for oh boy. And Shift Guy says calling for rain Friday. People are gonna find excuses not to go.
I haven't even looked at the weather yet for Friday.
Dear God, don't let it rain.
I know that's just gonna be a terrible thing. I'm gonna pull up right now. We're gonna live update right now for what we're calling in Charlottesville for Friday. Oh. We're staring. I'll put it this way: we're staring down some potential thunderstorms all day Friday and Friday night.
Every time Jay goes to the game, we get a storm. Jay, good God, what's wrong with you?
I am the storm. I just have a thundercloud that just lives around my life.
Listen, all right, I'm not going to harp anymore. Virginia fans, Virginia students, just do the Cavalier Connection a favor. Can you show up and show out here on Friday? I'll take the shirts off, write UVA on your chest, paint your faces, act foolish out there, get crazy.
Watch the 95 game against FSU and see how crazy those students in that crowd was. Full to the brim. No seats available. Huh?
No, I said get yourself hyped up.
Yeah. It's a big one. We'll get more into it later this week before Friday night. And preview it all. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up our broadcast here tonight. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. Go check out thecavalierconnection.com. Excuse me. All of our articles up there. Recap from last night. Preview for what's to come this week. We'll hear what Elliott has to say Tuesday morning at his press conference. And with that being said, good win over Stanford. Not much else to say other than go Hoos.
Go Hoos.
Go Hoos.